Hi Dan, it's Dan here. Wanted to get your reaction to a tweet that we saw from Carl Bildt just in the past 24 hours. He says, "We are in the most dangerous security situation in Europe since the 1960s. And I'm wondering how you think the West can respond to this, because do you think the Western response to this crisis between Russia and Ukraine is constrained by the European gas crunch and the Russian gas position?
Well, I think that it certainly factors into it that, the U.S. government in the last few days has been going around talking to gas companies, energy companies saying, can you provide more gas? Is there more gas? And the answer is there's not a lot more gas. And I think Carl Bildt, former from Sweden, is really referring to, it reminds one in some ways of the Berlin crisis in the 1960s. And cards are all in Vladimir Putin's hands. We're back in a Cold War game of trying to guess what his intentions are. But when you see 100,000 troops on the border, when you read his 5,000-word essay about how Ukraine and Russia are one, and his general remarks about how that Ukraine was, taken away from Russia, it makes you think that, that something serious is going to happen, whether it's a full-out invasion or just take part of Ukraine. These are not casual things he's doing. And Hadley, as you know, those negotiations that just finished in Europe were meant to fail from the beginning because the Russians put out demands that were totally unacceptable to the West.
Dan, before we let you go, I also wanted to get your reaction to some commentary that Jason Bordoff has been making. I know you follow him closely as well. He's been tweeting about energy and climate trends to watch in the year ahead. And one interesting thing that he said was that a key risk to the outlook is going to be oil price spikes. He says mismatched energy supply, investment and demand is going to prompt a market crunch, warning in a way that some of the energy crises that we've seen through Europe through the winter are not going to be a one-off. Is that a view you share? And what are some of the other key risks, perhaps even black swan events that we should be looking out in the
in fact, I have been talking since December, since last year, about preemptive underinvestment in oil and gas. And in fact, I'm writing a manuscript on that right now, that there was this tendency when these crises began in late last year to say, oh, it's a one-off. But if you look at the demand trends and you look at the levels of investment, you can see this being recurrent. And please note that there is political cost and political backlash to it. And I think that's what Jason's getting to. And I think that some of the taxonomy, some of the things that the Europeans are doing is just negligent in terms of looking at the realities of energy supply and energy markets. And that's what you see unfolding today.